Mina Boucher was sitting in the back seat of his family's car when shots rang out last week, shattering a window and hitting the child in the cheek. His father's co-workers set up a GoFundMe page to help the family move out of Jersey City. People commented, accusing the family of using the baby to get money. The dad says that the page will be taken down and the money returned to donors. Imagine dropping $400 a night on an Upper West Side hotel room only to find out that it is infested with hundreds of bed bugs. Well, that was one California couple's experience at the Astor on Park Hotel. They posted a video of the skin-crawling encounter on YouTube. Now, Elgin Ozian said his girlfriend had at least 75 bites on her arms and stomach from the hungry bed bugs. Now, some hotel guests say that they're going to try to get their money back, even though they never caught sight of the bugs.
Shock. We found out about it, so I inspected thoroughly. We got home late last night, so we kind of was stuck in a situation. We didn't have another hotel, and luckily we didn't see any bugs.
According to the Department of Buildings website, Astor on the Park has a total of 99 complaints, but none of them actually mention a bed bug problem. The next court hearing for Bill Cosby has been scheduled for Wednesday. That is when a deposition is scheduled to take place. His wife Camille has been ordered to testify against him. Cosby was arrested last week on sexual abuse charges. He's been accused by more than 50 women of such abuse. He says that he is not guilty and does not want a plea bargain. Well, people love them for their waffle fries, but health inspectors are not enjoying the new Chick-fil-A in Herald Square. The restaurant was shut down because of code violations. An inspection found that the restaurant wasn't up to standards on refrigerating food. The Herald Square location will reopen its doors for breakfast tomorrow morning. Chick-fil-A opened it to great fanfare in October and has plans for more locations in New York City. The first family is back in the mainland. They landed this morning at Andrews Air Force Base, returning from their annual 2-week trip to Hawaii. The president gets back to work tomorrow and has a full week ahead as he begins his final year in office. Tomorrow, when he heads back to work, he'll be meeting with Attorney General Loretta Lynch to discuss tougher gun restrictions. He is expected to bypass Congress and announce executive action this week to expand background checks on gun sales.
We are going to squeeze every last ounce of progress that we can make when I have the privilege of, as long as I have the privilege of holding this office.
The proposals are expected before his final State of the Union address on January the 12th. He also plans to hold a 1-hour live town hall from Virginia this week on the topic of gun control, pitching his ideas to the public. Bill Clinton hits the road tomorrow. He will start campaigning for his wife, Hillary. The former president will hold rallies in New Hampshire. Bill Clinton is expected to hold many events in these final weeks leading up to the Iowa caucus and, of course, the primary in New Hampshire. Bill Clinton's involvement in the race has brought sharp attacks from Republican frontrunner Donald Trump, blasting him for, quote, a terrible record with women. And Craig Allen joins us once again. You know, usually when you start talking about these caucuses and primaries, we see the candidates just marching through snow, stumping for their votes everywhere. No signs of snow anywhere at all right now, which is a great thing.
It is so quiet. Yeah, I mean, now it's getting cold.
I mean, what do you do? Do you go on vacation when it's this slow?
Really, you know something? I am not the biggest snow lover in the world, but I'll tell you, it has gotten pretty boring over the last couple of weeks around
here.
Boring, yeah.
I'm quoting you on that one.
Yeah, but you know, temperatures now are getting cold, and ski resorts, that's what we were talking about before. Ski resorts really need it, and you know what? Now you have a chance to make the snowfall out there. That's going to be the best thing. You're looking outside there, and we were looking downtown past the Empire State Building. Still lit up in Christmas colors. 45 was our high this afternoon. Newark 47. Islip got to 49, so we were above normal again throughout the tri-state region. Last time we'll be able to say that for the next 48 hours or so. Temperatures across the region have been quite mild for this afternoon with 45 compared to a normal high of 39. Look where we started off. We were 7 degrees warmer than normal for this morning. That 35, that was a low this morning. We won't even be able to get to that for a high over the next couple of days. So we're down to 37. The wind chill, not too bad because a west wind at 10 miles per hour. That's not that strong with the temperature temperature of 37. So it feels like it's about freezing outside. It's cold, but not anywhere near where we're going to be. So 37 now for the city. You're down to freezing in Sussex. It is below freezing, but this is not the real cold air that has come in yet. The Toms River temperature, the West Hampton temperature, that is so typical of a clear sky with light winds on sandy soil in these areas. The heat just radiates right back up into space so quickly. So now you can see there we have cleared out across the area, and we have some clouds that are drifting in from the Great Lakes. But this is going to be interesting to see here. I'm going to zoom in on the Great Lakes and take a look at this. See this band right over the lake? Comes on down, another band off of Lake Erie, bands off Lake Ontario, and they continue from the other lakes too. They start right at the eastern edge of the lake and they make their way on land. That is your typical lake effect snow as the cold air comes across the warm lakes, and the lakes aren't anywhere near frozen at this time of year, not yet, not with the weather pattern that we've been in. So these areas from Michigan across to northwest portions of Ohio, on into New York State, northwest, that's northeast Ohio, northwest Pennsylvania, you're going to get a lot of snow back there, finally, in those areas from lake effect snow, but not necessarily here, just the cold. All we might get later tonight into tomorrow is a flurry that could drift down with the cold air, making it past the Poconos, making it past the Catskills. It's rare, but it could very well do it. Same thing for tomorrow. A gusty wind will be coming out of the north tomorrow, keeping it much colder than it has been around here for the last 24. So figure we barely get to freezing tomorrow. Certainly won't get to it during the day on Tuesday, and in between, Monday night will be our coldest night since the early part of March, since the first part of last March. We will be down in the teens for Tuesday night. 28 in the city for tonight. Some clouds drift in. That is cold, but not as cold as it's going to get. 22 to 28 degrees for the suburbs expected. 31 tomorrow, so we can't even get to the freezing mark tomorrow. A mixture of sunshine, some clouds, and just that chance of an isolated flurry or two. Take a look at the 7-day forecast here, and there you see it. 31 for Monday. It is 30 degrees during the day on Tuesday, and the overnight low temperature Monday night and on into Tuesday is only in the teens around here. Even the city could get down to 15 degrees. So what we were saying before is, those of you headed off to school and off to work tomorrow for the first time after the vacation, it is going to get tough for a couple of mornings, but then watch how fast it recovers. Wednesday, we're back up to 41, 43, 43, 46, 44. We're back up above normal, and by the time the next storm system rolls around next weekend, it's probably going to be rain. Mario?
All right, make sure the little ones have scarves and gloves on. Well, there is a new brew coming to Brooklyn. Braven Brewing Company says that they're going to start making their beer in Bushwick. Currently, it crafts its beers upstate in Saratoga Springs, but the company says they want to help revive Brooklyn's roots in beer crafting. The Bushwick Brewery goes into production later this year off the Morgan L train station. The Force is keeping the wallets open of many moviegoers. Star Wars: The Force Awakens continues to just obliterate records. This weekend, it brought in slightly more than $88 million. That is easily the #1 spot at the box office for the third week in a row. It has now made $1.5 billion worldwide, which makes it the 6th highest grossing film of all time. Other movies doing well at the box office: Daddy's Home is #2 at $29 million. You just look at that figure and you're saying it pales in comparison to Star Wars. Right. It's the only other movie, by the way, that was released on Christmas Day that is now in the top 5. The Hateful Eight, Sisters, and Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Road Trip, round out the top 5 for the weekend. Netflix is giving you even more reasons to stay home in front of your computer. They're launching 15 new original shows this year. The shows include the Full House sequel, Fuller House, and a television adaptation of the book series, A Series of Unfortunate Events. Chelsea Handler, Arnett, and Ashton Kutcher are among the stars starring in these new shows. Netflix hits Orange is the New Black, House of Cards, a good one, and Marco Polo have all announced returns as well. Well, this one might please film fans, but they're probably wondering, who is there left to kill here? Director Quentin Tarantino says that he's been talking to actress Uma Thurman about making a Kill Bill 3. Tarantino says both he and Thurman are interested in the idea, but right now remain non-committal. He says if such a film is made, it would pick up many years later past the events of the first two. Kill Bill 1 and 2 were released in 2003 and 2004. Actress Jessica Chastain is getting the praises of the internet for this random picture taken of her. Take a look. She is smiling and hanging out with some of her friends, just like everyday New Yorkers would, right? She's the actress from Zero Dark 30 and Interstellar, but here she is just riding the subway, just like a normal person.